Load Testing. So Azure Load Testing is a cloud-based service that you can use for your load testing your application, or you can say your API. So today we will see how you can create a load testing resources in Azure portal, and also we will talk about how you can take an example of dummy API and you can test in Azure load testing. Also, we'll talk about how you can use JMX script, or you can say how you can integrate your CI/CD pipeline in the uh, Azure load testing. So, without wasting much time, let's talk about that. So, as you can see, I already have opened the Azure portal. So, I'll create a resource Azure, just search about Azure load testing, and here you can create uh, let me create a new resource. So select a resource group. I selected Azure resource group. Now just give some name, demo load testing. So create, it is validating it, and just create it. So as you can see, it is creating the resources in Azure portal, and we'll see how you can create a API. You can use it for testing or load testing any API or your application basically. So let it create the resources. While it is creating the resource, I have found this dummy API, so I'll use this dummy API for testing the uh, this Azure load service. So as you can see, resources has been created. Now go to resource, and you can see like all the options like overview, activity log, identity, and you can see in the test, you can see different tests that you have created. You can see the logs and the diagnostic setting. You can enable it for your Azure load testing. So if you go here, you can see it has different options. So one option is add a HTTP request. So if you have a standalone HTTP request, you can use this to test that one. And second option is if you have created your S plan using JMeter, you can directly upload your JMX script into Azure load testing, and you can run your test. And third, you can also integrate with your CI/CD pipeline as well. So we'll not go into deep in each and everything, but I'll give you a view about how you can do it basically. So as you can see, first I'll talk about the add HTTP request. So if you click on here, so it will open this one, and it will just give you the test name. Let's see, HTTP request run after creation. So I'll enable. As soon as create this, it will run. Enable advanced setting. Test URL I have copied from this site. Basically, it is just dummy URL. And then you can basically configure here to load basically. Either you can specify number of virtual user, or you can specify request per second. So in virtual users, you can specify total number of virtual users and test duration for which test will execute, and ramp up time as well. Ramp up time is basically how much time it will take to invoke all your thread, or you can say user basically. So that's the ramp up time. And you can see in the request per second, you can configure how many requests you wanted to hit per second, and you can configure the response time for the particular API. If it is greater than that, that means test will fail. And test duration, and then again ramp up time. So let's go with virtual user. Instead of 50, just give 5, and test duration just give 2 minute, and up time, let's say give 30. Yeah, 1 minute only. So let's create it and let's see what happens. So you can see test case successfully created, and test also has been started. So if you say test run will start shortly, so if you can see test are being executed here. So and you can see maybe if URL is wrong, then it might give error like 400 or something like that, and if it is correct, it will execute for some time. So, and let's see what other option it has. So it is still executing, and you can see here, you can see all the test runs, stop it, and also you can integrate with your let's say your different application, Azure Analytics or SQL Server or your database or your SaaS application as well, and you can check the live metrics for that application as well. So this is for API. So I think it is provisioning the I think user, and you can see status here. It is configuring it now. So let's see what happens. Now you can see it is the in executing state. That means test case execution has been started, and we will see some kind of dashboard or something like that. So let it execute. Since I have given, I think 3 minutes or something like that. I think two minute I have given. So let it execute, and you can see as well like CPU percentage as well, memory percentage, network, and virtual users as well. So you can see at least some graph there, and we will see load test result in a minute. So this is basically engine health. So it whatever load you are creating, it is allocating some engine instance. Based on that, it is uh, basically executing on that engine. So it is telling the what is the CPU uses for that particular engine, memory uses, and then network uses as well for the particular engine. So I think it is still running. I think I have given 2 minutes. So let it wait for 2 minutes. Then we'll see what happens. It's still executing, and you can see CPU percentage. Initially it was high, then it went down. And memory percentage, you can see not that much. And you can see here virtual users as well, like increased over time as well. So let me see. I think it is still executing. Yeah, you can see like virtual users also increased from 210 and so on. And if you see, this is engine one basically, and you can allocate different engine as well for your load test. Let me see. Okay, so as you can see, response time for that particular API, it was successful, right? And you can see it was between 10 and 15 millisecond, and request number of request hit per second. You can see that as well. And I haven't configured the server side metrics. So as I told you, you can configure your server as well. Like if you have a database, or you can say your cluster, or you can say your application, you can configure app component, and it will give you the metrics about your service as well as based on the like this load test execution. So this is how you can basically execute it and the monitor your test result for your API. And so if you see it is still executing, I'll stop it for now. And I didn't get any error, but yeah, you can configure as much user you want, or you can say uh, time duration as well. So so if you see test done, because I have configured for 2 minutes, and if you refresh it, yeah, you can see like max virtual user, and then successful response. I think maximum number of users I have given 5, right? So at if it has a raised to 5, after that it respond like it stopped the test cases, and 2 minutes was also completed. So this is how you can monitor it, and you can basically configure your server side metrics. And go to view. And so if you see, you can see here like all the test case execution. You can rerun your test, and you can select it and rerun. And also if you wanted to convert your HTTP test into JMX test, you can convert it to this option as well. So it will convert your test into JMX test actually, so that you can basically download it and import into the your JMeter file basically. So you can download the file. So if you see, it has input artifacts, and it contains the JMX file basically, and you can import directly in your JMeter and debug it, or you can add more files and you can directly upload it. So let me go again back to home page here. So we talked about how to handle the HTTP request. Let's do some how to upload. So here, if you see, this is if you have created your script in JMeter or some other tool, you can upload in the Azure Load Testing. So if you see here in the test plan, basically you can select that JMeter script and upload it. So what I'll do, I'll maybe go to and just extract here. So if you see, it has quick test JMX. What I'll do, I'll just upload that, this one, and click on the upload button. You can see it is completed. And if you have some parameters, you can pass those parameters as well. And you can specify the engine instances. So for example, I have a specified one. You can increase it to some other instances like 3, 4, how many instances you want basically. You can increase it. And then in testing criteria, what are the different metrics you wanted to capture in your metrics? You can configure it like response time, latency, throughput, whatever you wanted to configure, you can directly configure it here. And in the monitoring, if you wanted to add any other let's say server side component like database or Azure Analytics or your application, you can configure it as well. So I don't have that, so I'll just go ahead and create that. So as you can see, JMX script is created, uploaded, and validating the GMX script. And it is validating. If you see, it is still validating. Once validation is finished, we will see something there. Uh, so as you can see, JMX script is successfully validated. Now you can see test also has been started because I have selected that once validation finished or test case JMX is successfully validated, we need to start the test. So if you see, it is provisioning the engine instance. Once it will provision it, it will configure it, and then it will start executing the test as well. So let's wait for a few seconds. Let's see what happens. So you can see it is provisioning, and in the engine health, it doesn't show anything because it is still in the provisioning state. You can see it is in configuration. Now it test case execution has been started. So you can see this is the engine instance, CPU uses, memory, network. So it shows the engine health. So if you have any issue in engine, you will see here basically. However, test case result will shown here once uh, things are executed properly. So let it execute for few seconds, or you can say few minutes. Is executing. You can say memory usage screen increasing, CPU percentage decreasing, network is stable. So let it wait and execute. You can get a coffee or chai, whatever you want to for some time. Keep refreshing it. While it is executing, I'll show you one more thing that is regarding the how to integrate with the CI/CD. So we talked about HTTP request and upload JMeter. Now, if you wanted to integrate with your CI/CD setup, what you need to do, I'll not show you the demo, but I'll just give you overview how you can do it. So if you have CI/CD setup, for example, you have ADO or Azure DevOps pipeline setup, you can select your organization, your project, your repository, and your branch, and you can select the project folder where all your JMX script are there basically. So it will automatically, you can say, pick up the you can say JMX file, and it will, as soon as you trigger that you can say stage or job in your application, it will start executing load test on the Azure load testing environment basically. So this is just some configuration that you need to provide, and you can execute it. So will not do that. However, what let me go to our test if see all the executed. So it was the JMX, this one that we have uploaded. So go to test run. Okay. So as you can see, it failed for some reason. No requisition from one or more engine during the checks your script and again. So as you can see, I might have uploaded the wrong script, or maybe something wrong in my script. But if you have correct script, your test will execute basically. So my idea was to show you how you can do it. But yeah, sorry about that. Maybe I'll fix my script offline and execute it again. But if you have correct script, you will be able to execute on your Azure load test environment. So that's about it regarding the Azure load test. So let me see like what are the thing. So again, if you wanted to enable the uh, diagnostic setting, like what is happening or how to check the engine logs and those things, you can enable the diagnostic setting, and you can also check the logs for your engines and those things. And you can check the quota as well, how many concurrent engines you want, and how many um, test cases per engine basically you wanted to execute, and duration per test run basically that you wanted to configure. So those things you can also configure. And in identity, if you wanted to manage some, let's say uh, you can say user defined or system assigned identity, you can manage that as well basically. And this is just test where you can basically create and manage your test. So what else? So I think that's about it. So now let me delete the resources, and once you have like configured or done, I think if you're not using it, you probably you need to delete the resources as well. uh, I don't need, I will gonna same subscription. So demo load testing. So I'll just delete it. So that's deleted. So it will not cause me cost basically. So that's how you can save the cost as well if you are not using the resources. So that's about the load testing, and thanks for watching. And if you like this video, please do subscribe my channel Back to Base, and thanks again.